Hello, this is Sondra Oster, Baras, bringing you a few words of Bible from the heart of Biblical Israel. This week's Torah portion is Va'era. It is the second Torah portion in Exodus. The slavery, the enslavement of the children of Israel is deepening, and God has selected Moses to come and start the redemption process. When the Torah portion opens, Moses and Aaron have already gone on their first mission. They have tried to accomplish something and they have utterly failed. They have returned to God in dejection, and they basically are saying, why did you send? Moses says to God, why did you send me? Things are even worse now than they were before. Okay? And then we open the Torah portion with chapter 6, and Lord spoke to Moses, says, I am the Lord. And I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in El Shaddai, that's one of the names of God. But my name of God, I did not inform them. Okay? And this is also a different, there's all different understandings. What does it mean, the different names of God? What is he trying to say here? But let's continue, because I think what he continues saying is extremely important. Until now, when God appeared to Moses, he identifies himself as the Father, the God of his forefathers, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And this is as a sense of identity. I am the God that you have heard about. I am the God you believe in. I am the same God that accompanied your forefathers. Here I am again to accompany their descendants. That is the message that has been given to Moses and through Moses to the children of Israel until now. But here we have something different. And I will execute, or I will fulfill my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their dwellings where they dwelled. In other words, the covenant I made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I am now coming to fulfill that covenant with their children, to give them the land of Canaan. Okay, the very land where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob lived, but they lived there as sojourners. They lived there as strangers. It wasn't their land. And God says, now I am going to now is coming the time to fulfill the promise, to keep the covenant that I made with the forefathers and bring this nation into the land of Canaan. And of course, he continues to say, I've also heard the cries of the children of Israel when the Egyptians are persecuting or are enslaving them, and I remembered my covenant. And therefore, please say to the nation of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will take you out from the suffering of Egypt. And here we have 5 different languages of redemption. Okay? And by the way, on the Seder night, we have 4 cups of wine and an additional cup for Elijah that we put in the center of the table. And tradition says that these 5 cups are parallel to the 5 languages of redemption that we have in this very verse. I will take them out from their suffering. I will rescue them from their enslavement. I will redeem them with an outstretched hand and great punishments. I will take them to me as a nation, and I will bring them to the land. Okay? The final word of redemption, the final verb of redemption is, I will bring them to the land. And in fact, this is the language that is parallel to the coast of Elijah, which of course represents the final redemption. So here in Egypt, we haven't even gotten to the first redemption. Okay, and the first entry of the nation of Israel into the land of Israel. But this idea of I will bring them to the land is something that the Jews carried with them throughout the very long exile, symbolized by this cup of wine for Elijah, symbolizing at the Seder and throughout our history and existence that we are waiting for that final language of redemption where God will bring us into the land of Israel. And that, of course, is really what this particular speech of God to Moses is about. It is about redemption, but it is about a much more solid, much more meaningful redemption than what God has spoken to Moses about until now. Until now, God identifies himself as the God of the forefathers who will come and rescue the nation of Israel. Today, in this particular speech, for the first time, God talks about covenant. Covenant means it is something that is everlasting. It is a covenantal relationship is unique. And it is the relationship that God begins with the children of Israel through the covenants that are made between God and the forefathers, particularly with Abraham. There are covenants there. Now, as the story continues and as we follow the nation of Israel through as they leave Egypt and they go out into the desert, there will be additional covenants between God and the nation of Israel. But at this point, the only covenants are the covenants between God and the forefathers. And it is that covenant that now God is coming to fulfill. We are going to now, for the first time, see the actual fulfillment of those covenants as God rescues the nation. And I think from this point on, until now, Moses is arguing, don't send me, I'm not the right person. What did you do this for? At the end of this talk, okay, we see nothing. Moses doesn't respond. The next, in verse 10, we have a new commandment. God now speaks to Moses again, go again to Pharaoh. And Moses does give his last sort of resistance. But, I don't speak well, and that's it. God doesn't even bother answering because he knows that at this point, Moses gets it. He's still modest. He's still unsure of why God has chosen him. But he does understand that the mission itself is a very important mission. And it's not just a mission of salvation, and it's not just a mission of magic and signs, and our God is more powerful than the magicians of Pharaoh. That's not what this is about. This is about covenant. And once Moses understands this is about covenant, the way has been paved to indeed see this process to its ultimate fulfillment, the fulfillment of the covenant and the bringing of the nation of Israel into the land of Israel. Have a wonderful weekend. Shabbat Shalom.
I hope you enjoyed that video, and we'd like to be sure you're getting all of our video content. So just click on the subscribe button below as well as on the notification bell, and that way you will have easy access to all our material. We look forward to staying in touch with you. God bless you, and have a wonderful day.